We spent the past couple of years in a crazy hot market. Louisville home sales decline as demand outpaces supply. Effective communication is at the core of any situation. If you master these two ideas, you'll have a chance of being successful at residential real estate marketing. I think you need to be looking for investment opportunities that move the needle. The market will never crash if demand exceeds supply. This is what I've been telling you all along.
This is the Jay Pitts Show.
And we're back, folks. Welcome back to the Jay Pitts Show here on Talk Radio 1080. I'm your host, Jay Pitts, here with Ryan Harris. Ryan, what's up, man?
Oh, I think we got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be electric.
Yeah.
I feel it. Had a little week off last week. Ryan spent some time in North Carolina. Ryan, how was it?
It was a good trip.
First family vacay?
Yeah.
First road
vacation.
trip?
Yeah, I tell you what, it turned a 6-hour road trip into about 8.5 hours.
That good. That's exceptional.
Well, and it's just because he slept well, did great. You just got to stop and feed him still.
So
every couple
hours.
hours.
Let me tell you about our first child road trip.
Okay.
We weren't even to Lexington, and we hit a bird with the windshield, and that should have told us. And we coined the term birder, as in like murdering a bird by accident. Yeah, it was obviously not murder if it was by accident, but so that was not good. We made it. We were heading probably the same direction as you, down 64. We were heading to Kiowa Island first. We ended up in Charleston on the same trip. And I guess my son got a stomach bug that we were unaware of, and he proceeded to vomit no less than about 42 times on the way.
Oh.
So, smelling that, stopping, cleaning the high chair. We arrived in Kiowa Island. This is what it looked like. This is the scene. The smell was bad. My son, we had taken multiple changes of clothes already. He's in a diaper in his car seat. We had literally taken a trash bag and lined the bottom of his seat and sat on it. And before you come at me, there was no slack in it. It was a very small garbage bag. I did not let my child sit in the back seat in a rear facing car seat with no vision of him with a plastic bag. But it's the only thing we could do to keep the copious amounts of vomit off of the car seat, and that we had cleaned twice. We literally went to a car wash mid-road trip to wash this car seat.
I can say our trip did not go like that.
It went better than ours.
So.
But the bird was an omen. It was an omen. 45 minutes in. All right, so what else we got today?
My scramble team's falling apart.
It's so then you're telling me that I don't have to put a last minute net gross situation together.
No. So we've talked about it on the show. There's a remax scramble coming up, a charity scramble for the kids. And I had a really good team. I had a Corn Ferry Tour member, one of my college teammates on my team, and then another client of mine. Well, my Corn Ferry Tour member, he can't play anymore. He has a Monday qualifier down in Florida. And of course, I'm like, dude, it's your livelihood. Go. And then my college teammate had his golf clubs stolen last night out of his car in the Highlands. Probably $4,000 or $5,000 set. Oh. So I'm sure he can find some separate clubs. What does a guy that good play? What kind of clubs? Titleist? The Corn Ferry Tour member, or
the one who had clubs stolen, the $4,000 to $5,000 set.
I mean,
TaylorMade, Titleist.
Here's why they're that expensive. He used to work at golf headquarters, and he's a golf nerd, so he got good discounts on stuff. And where clubs really start to get expensive are the different shafts you can get in your clubs.
Of course.
So for your driver and stuff, but it's a mixed bag. There was some, I think, Callaway, Titleist. I think he had a Callaway driver, so mixed set.
Probably, see. It's funny. I tell you something else. I have to share it with you afterwards. So Matt Hoagland, agent with us, good buddy, played in the scramble with you and I and Scott Radcliffe last week. Co-A players that didn't bring their A game. Probably brought your B game.
Dude, I was impressed with you.
I played okay.
Yeah.
I played okay. That was good golf for me. Really good golf for me. Anyway, Matt had ChatGPT write a rap about me being obsessed with golf now. And literally it's 4 paragraphs. He sent it to me this morning. Sent it to a couple other guys. We had some good laughs over it.
Is that your submission to you're going to do a rap on the show?
No, I'm absolutely not. I'm absolutely not going to do it. But it was it is well known that I've been bit by the golf bug. So, all right. So scramble team's falling apart. So are you going to find fill-in players?
I will.
Obviously you will,
Yeah.
but they will probably not be the caliber.
Yep.
So everyone else has a little bit more of a shot.
Well, I found
what
out
you're
there's
saying.
one other good team, but
Okay.
talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So, all right, let's get into today's show.
Sure.
Consumer real estate question. I've actually had a couple of people ask me about this, so I figure we bring it to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw Ryan Brown post a little something about it on his story. And we don't have to talk about the war itself, but will the war conflicts in the Middle East affect housing prices here in the United States?
Well, I think you kind of have to talk about the war a little bit, but like not from like a personal opinion standpoint or picking sides. Obviously, that is a hot topic in the news. You're seeing, opinions from one side to the other, and the vitriol is pretty crazy with respect to both. So I was actually, when you talked to me about discussing this just a minute ago before we went live, I would tell you, I told you I had something I could add. And what I was actually going to add is a little bit of an endorsement of Ryan's post from the other day because I saw it as well.
What was his post? His
post essentially said that the war economy, which if you know anything about what happens to the economy during wartime, it typically is stimulated. There are large-scale contracts, government spending. If some reports are to be believed, then American stockpiles of ammunition and certain things are at pretty low levels. You probably heard something in the news about strategic petroleum reserve. I can't even say that word. Petroleum reserve. Strategic petroleum reserve being dwindled. Toward. I think it was probably like 21 summer is when they started drawing down the petroleum reserve because of gas prices. There was a lot of political infighting back and forth. You had like Trump and his people saying, well, hey, I bought this petroleum at record low prices. We need it for, national security. We're sticking it into circulation right now because people don't want to pay $4 a gallon for gasoline. But then when you buy back to replenish, you're buying back at $4 a gallon gasoline equivalents, that kind of thing. So that's apparently pretty low. We're like,
I saw a chart
2 weeks,
showing that, yeah,
something like that. Like we can only operate on 2 weeks, 2 weeks on the petroleum reserve currently. So we need to buy it anyway. Point being, if we're stimulating the economy for a war, from petroleum reserves to ammunition to large-scale government defense contracts, things like that, in support of either, regardless of whether it's in Ukraine or whether it's in the Middle East, in the Israel-Hamas conflict, whatever. That has a chance of stimulating the economy, limiting the effects of a recession or reversing the effects of a recession. And what typically happens in those situations is when the economy is being stimulated, there's not simultaneous reduction in rates. Okay, rates stay high because the economy can withstand high rates when it's being stimulated. That's what was so crazy about the whole COVID thing, was we saw economic stimulation and reduced rates simultaneously, and that's what produced the hyperinflation we've kind of experienced. So what does that mean? That means we could be enduring higher rates longer, potentially. I think that's the writing's already on the wall with that without war economy. I think, I was calling for 5.9 or high fives by this summer because I thought what we were going to do is we were going to get past, the worst of inflation, and then we were going to drop rates, right, to kind of go into the typical third year of a 4-year, presidential cycle where the economy is best just prior to an election. That and that's not an indictment on, Biden. It's what every president seems to do when they're in control of the levers of the economy, whether it be the Fed or the monetary reserve, any of those things. So I thought that's what we were going to. It's clearly not the case. I was wrong about that, and it seems like higher rates for longer. The Fed has already pretty much said Q3 of 24 before they're going to do any reductions. That to me sounds like they're saying, well, this is as far as we can push it out without being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself says something.
Yeah. And let's be clear. You're saying higher rates, just having higher rates longer doesn't mean home prices are dropping. In reality, home prices are going to go up still. And you're going to have those higher rates.
And what do higher rates mean? It may mean 7. It may mean we're basically knocking on the door at 8 right now. I mean, it could be 6.5, right? But it's not low 5s. Yeah. It's not high 4s, right? It could be that we're 6 plus for another 2 years, right? But I think everybody would be excited to see 6 right about now.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I mean, I'm buying 4 investment houses right now, financing at 8.25.
Yeah. So Jay's not just talking the talk; he's walking the walk. So if you have been on the fence about, hey, is this the right time to buy or move? It probably is. There's no way of knowing 100% for sure. But from what we just talked about, rates are staying where they are. Yeah. Home prices are going up.
Well, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. That is as tropey as that is. It's true.
It's a good quote to end this first segment. We're going to cut to a couple ad sponsors, and we'll be back on the Jay Pitts Show, Talk Radio 1080. We're going to talk about the Louisville market, Louisville football, and the Louisville Red-White game. We'll see you in a sec. Welcome back to the Jay Pitts Show. This is Talk Radio 1080, Real News, Real Talk. I'm your co-host, Ryan Harris. All right, let's talk a little more real estate. We have a really good show talking about most things in Louisville, actually, today. We don't do that all the time, but I think it's good to do it every now and then. So This is kind of a Louisville segment right here, Louisville sports, Louisville real estate, and we'll start with the Louisville real estate market update. What's it looking like out there, Jay?
Inventory's up. You know, it's funny. I saw a post this morning from a fellow real estate broker, and I commented and got a response. Now, I mean, I don't want to say who this person is because it's really not about, trying to refute any claims being made. The person basically responded to my comment and said, I don't know if you saw this, but
I've not seen this, so this is good.
Basically said, there was.
What did their post say?
Their post, I'll read it. In Louisville, Kentucky, right now, there are 3,903 active listings active, under contract, or pending. Now, for those of you who don't know the difference, active is just available for sale. No contracts being negotiated. Under contract means an offer has been accepted, but they haven't cleared certain contingencies. Pending means they've cleared the inspection contingency and most likely will close. So there's 2 kind of under contract statuses. Okay, so of the 3,903, now this is the Greater Louisville MLS. Okay, so this could be Lexington, this could be Southern Indiana, this could be E-Town, this could be Bardstown, this could be Eminence, this could be, Carrollton. It's like Louisville's the biggest MLS in the state.
Right.
So as such, it gets listings from all over. But it is a good barometer, right? It's a good, large enough data set that you kind of want to consider it. But just to be clear, we're not stratifying for only Louisville properties, which I do sometimes. So 3,903 listings in those 3 status. Not sold. Available, not sold, under contract, that kind of thing. Not closed. Of that, 1,987 are 90 days old or more. 1987 of 3,903. The active number that are less than 90 days is only 800. Okay, so my response, I'm going to come back. We're going to dissect this because it's going to take a minute. Don't disagree. My response, the first comment was market shifting big time from a very accomplished local agent. Okay, lots of experience. My response, after seeing that only single comment and the original, was I don't disagree that the market is shifting quickly. In parentheses, I put, assuming that that's your assertion. I think that was a fair assumption on my part, given the way that the comment was written. I said, but of your number, the 3,903, only 2,103 are active. So we're using the wrong denominator here. We're using 3,903, which makes this look worse when we should be using 2,103. So 2,103 have not received a contract. And only 428 of those are over 90 days. So it doesn't matter how long houses have been on the market if they're about to be sold and closed, if they're under contract or being sold or closed. And when you look at it, it's only really 25% of active listings are over 90 days. So really, it's like 1,500, 1,600 properties are less than 90 days that are actively available for sale, which is still an incredibly small number.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the comment, whether it was intentional or not, I actually don't think it was intentional. I think the comment was misleading. 3,903 listings, only 800 less than 90 days. It makes it sound like there are 2,100 that have been on the market for more than 3 months. That's not the case. There are 428 that have been on the market more than 3 months.
A lot less than 2,100.
A lot less than 2,100. So anyway, he came back and said, I'm sorry if I just pulled numbers. I'm sorry if you thought there was some sort of opinion there. And I said, my fault for assuming, which is honestly what you do when you assume. You make a fool of yourself sometimes. And I said, it's an interesting look at the data because I'm not trying to fight. But like, it's misleading in my opinion. And I think that this is nothing more than the narrative that we're being fed by the media in a lot of cases. Let's take the data point that makes it seem the worst and let's quote that. You know, I said on a show a couple weeks ago, U.S. credit card data soars to an all-time high. Like, you know, it's just not, that's not the whole truth.
You should read the titles for those articles.
Oh, dude. I kind of think that I could be a voiceover actor.
I think you could.
I think I could. I'm a little animated.
You've practiced it.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I was looking at some old videos of us, not you, but me. Actually, you had one. We had an outtake where you were like, I said something. I looked at you. You didn't speak.
Dude, it used to be so bad in front of the camera.
It was great, though. I was looking at one of me and Scott the other day. Man, we were so bad back then. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, that's where I'm at with the market. Still short of inventory. Sales are slowing. Demand is slowing, but price is still going up.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's jump into Louisville football. That was awesome. Louisville, Notre Dame.
I was on the field.
So you went to the game, didn't you?
Went to the game, took my son and one of his buddies, my 11-year-old son, I should say, one of his buddies, teammates. We got on the field after the game. We got a picture with Jamari Thrash. Couldn't find, Jawar. Couldn't find Gelati. Couldn't find
Jack Harlow.
we saw Harlow. Harlow hanging with
that's really cool. That's going to be one of those memories your son never forgets.
Dude.
Like with his friend and going there. And,
well, he's a tight end / wide receiver, so he Jamari Thrash. He's just like number one. He's making these crazy catches.
So how old is he now?
He's 11.
So let's be honest. He hasn't had that many great Louisville sporting memories in the past 5-6 years because Louisville's been pretty poor. So there's Lamar Jackson. That's probably the best memories he has.
Literally. So that's it. And so it's funny is my 3-year-old turned 4 today. Today's his birthday. We had his little family birthday party last night. My mom got him a Lamar Jackson Ravens jersey and a ball cap. And like his Preston is.
He's not going to take it off.
No, he wore it to school today. Like he literally wore it to school today because preschool doesn't have to wear uniforms. So he's wearing a Lamar Jackson jersey today. So jacked. Preston was jacked, my 11-year-old, because now they have matching jerseys.
I have a matching jersey too.
That's right.
I have one of those as well.
So Preston, that's all he remembers of U of L sports that's good is Lamar Jackson. Like, and so he is such a fan. Like we've tried to adopt the Bengals as a family, and Joe Burrow, and we can't. They're in the same division, and like they play all the time, and Preston's like cheering against the rest of the family because of Lamar Jackson.
So my family dog's name is Lamar Jackson.
I knew that.
They had him, I guess, or they got him like my sophomore year of college. So it was actually like 2 months before he even won the Heisman.
Oh, there you go.
It's kind of cool.
Was a good
Probably,
life,
I would say the first dog ever named Lamar Jackson.
Have you ever like put a dog jersey on him and had him jump over somebody?
They have. Well, I don't know if he can jump now.
You don't know if he
and
can
I'm not
hurdle?
even going to say what I'm thinking because I don't want it to happen.
Okay, never mind.
So
moving on.
That game was amazing. Your son's going to have that memory for forever.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'll tell you, I watched it on TV. It was so loud.
Dude, and
loud.
It was, and your 10-win prediction is alive.
Oh my gosh, looks good. Did I
say 8 or 9? I said 8, probably 9. Is that what I said?
I don't know.
We're going to have to go back to the tape.
We will.
I can't remember. It was 8 or 9.
I also made a future on them to make the college football playoffs at like plus 15,000. So
wow,
we'll see.
They just have to make the 8, like
4. It's 4.
Oh, it's 4. That's right.
Next year it's 12.
Next year's 12.
So, we'll see. Win a few thousand on that. I didn't bet a full 100, but
100 would have been nice when you could get it. I bet it ain't plus 15,000.
I mean,
now.
it's probably not going to happen anyways.
I bet it's not plus 15,000 right now.
Oh, no way. No chance.
Bet it's like plus 600 or something.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway.
That was, man, I tell you, it was my first great Louisville memory in a long time with sports.
Dude, I think it was second in loudness only to Blackout, West Virginia from like, what was that? What was the Orange Bowl?
Michael Bush.
Yeah, Michael Bush. No, was it? Yeah, it was Michael Bush. It was the year we lost to Ray Rice Rutgers that we could have went to the national title game. Like literally could have busted the BCS.
Didn't Michael Bush break his leg in the West Virginia game?
No, Michael Bush broke his leg against UK.
Okay.
But I think it was the start of the next season. But it was that was it. That blackout. But I was in a very different place in life. I was married probably, but no kids, very young, probably very inebriated at the
so you were drinking.
It was Thursday night game. This past week I was like, I had one beer. Like, you know what I mean? Very different game for me. But anyway, good stuff, man. Yeah,
it was amazing.
Your 10 win prediction is alive and well.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they keep. I'm a little nervous of the Pitt game.
I think
Brom is a little known for these big letdown games after big wins, but I think our defense is so freaking good. Like,
it's become that way, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't think they'd shut down Notre Dame like that.
Okay, one more Louisville thing. Little controversy on the Louisville Red-White game. I don't know if you saw this.
I haven't.
They are deciding not to stream the game for some reason.
Really?
Don't know why. They didn't really have an explanation, but it seems very weird to not stream the game. Tell you what, though, he better do something with that basketball team this year with the football team performing this well because the Louisville fans are ready to cheer again, and
everybody's ready to come back to the Yum, babe. I'm telling you. Like, and I didn't. I'm at a busy time in my life, and fall is so crazy. And having a football team that commands your attention, on top of everything else I have going on, then like it's going to be really easy for me to roll into winter and take a season off.
Yeah,
I'm still going to be coaching basketball, so like it better be something, And I got to the point where last year I wouldn't even turn the television on.
Oh, no, I would. I would just bet against Louisville.
Well, fading Louisville against the spread was probably a pretty successful strategy last year, but I digress. That's all the time we got for you here in segment 2. Let's get moved on. We got some more coming back for you on the Jay Pitt Show here on Talk Radio 1080. Ryan and I will be back real soon. Welcome back, folks, to the Jay Pitt Show here on Talk Radio 1080. I think we're going to keep it alive and well talking about sports right now with a little bit of sports betting. Ryan, what's on your mind?
Well, just pulled this from a social media post from Andy Brashear, and there has been, with sports betting becoming legal in Kentucky, $68 million has been wagered in Kentucky from the Thursday it went live to the Sunday. So just 4 days, and there was $68 million wagered. And in the first 2 weeks, when there was just retail, there was only $10 million wagered. So I'm surprised that was even $10 million. I mean, I'm not going in person to do any wagering.
No. It's got to just be guys that were already in the mutuals at wherever, like betting horses or whatever, that decided to play some Monday Night Football.
You would think so, but that's $68 million in 4 days.
$68 million in 4 days is pretty incredible. I remiss that I have not a single one of those dollars was me.
Really? Not yet?
I have not. I do not have an account, Ryan.
Wow.
I know. You're still. I've been being recruited pretty hard. I'm going to start selling my my referral code status because they give like $300 if you
$200.
I need 50, Ryan. I need a $50 Venmo if you're gonna if I'm going to use you.
Deal.
Starts deal done. Oh gosh, and now it's on the radio, so I've like committed to it.
Yeah, I'll pull this up. I'll take it to court.
I don't. I don't want one more thing.
Yeah.
If I have an account, I'll use it. Can you bet on the Twin Spires app? Can you bet sports on the Twin Spires app yet?
I don't think so.
You can't. You think they have any
I
intention?
think the sports books had to make a deal with Churchill.
Did they really?
For maybe some kind of rev share. I'm not positive.
Churchill's gets rev share.
I read something about it. Don't know if that actually.
That would
went
be
through.
the ultimate.
So I don't want to spread misinformation.
That's going to be that's like a Portnoy style business deal right there. If they get a share of the handle Oh, wow. I need to know this now. Okay.
We'll look it up for next time.
Moving on.
Did you see Stoops' comments about UK football?
Yeah, but I mean, I try not to follow UK.
Yeah,
as much
so
as possible. Sorry.
We'll say this is a pro Louisville
show.
But Stoops has done amazing things for Kentucky football.
Yeah, he
there's
has.
no denying that.
He's talking about how he wants them to pony up for NIL.
So talk about Georgia's bought some good players, and if Kentucky wants to compete with them, I guess the fans need to pony up. It's kind of hard to say when you're, I think, the second highest paid coach in college football, or fourth, or something like that. Like, he's up there. He's getting paid.
I mean, he's $9 million a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So when you get paid $9 million a year, you better not be asking people for more money.
Yeah,
they're not the fans, at least.
I like to joke with my UK friends. Just say, how's it feel? UK football, they're at their pinnacle right now. How's it feel like? It's going to be hard to get much better than this, and they might. I just like joking with them. And I don't know. They're not too happy with him, which I think is ridiculous. He's done amazing for them.
I agree. I agree. I mean, the last name Stoops, you hope, would bring success. He clearly is of the cloth, right? Cut from the cloth. I mean, what do they really expect?
I don't know.
I mean, like, you don't have the fan interest of Alabama, of Georgia. You don't have it. And so you're not going to generate the revenue. And when you don't generate the revenue, then you can't afford the best players. I mean, this is unfortunately, college football is now the Yankees versus the Oakland A's. And UK is not quite the Oakland A's, but they're not the Yankees.
Yeah. I saw some viewership of college football, a little off topic, but over the last 2 years, it's up like 38% or something, which is insane.
How's that even possible?
Well, they said, it's almost like letting players do NIL and market themselves is good for the sport so that people know who they are and tune in. And also sports betting definitely brings viewership.
Sure. I guess the sports betting, the NIL, I still can't say that they're, well, I don't know. Maybe the closest thing is like what's happening in Colorado, but that's all driven by a coach, right? So like name players that you shouldn't know as a fan that because of NIL. I don't really think that's the case for me, but maybe I'm already enough of a fan that it doesn't have some impact.
All right, let's get into. So we have playoff baseball going on. We'll move on to that. I guess we should mention Brandon Fott from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Pitched to Bellarmine. He's pitched two playoff games now. They've won both of them. I think one was a no decision on his part.
Sure.
The first one.
Pretty exciting, though.
It is.
Pretty
and
exciting.
Then he pitched last night and he did great. Five and a third.
Yep.
And only gave up 2 hits.
Pretty exciting, man.
2 runs.
It's nice. I went to Bellarmine and I got there right after Todd Wellmeyer left. And Todd Wellmeyer, for those of you that don't know, is, I think, a Ballard graduate, drafted in the 3rd round, ended up pitching in the big leagues for a number of organizations, most popularly the Chicago Cubs. He was there with Kerry Wood. He was there with Mark Pryor. And that's probably the most high-profile Bellarmine baseball player, that was until now.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty exciting, to see such a small school here in Louisville be represented on the national stage. Pretty exciting.
Well, one really cool thing about last night, I was watching the game. He was pitching to Will Smith from Louisville. You got a Bellarmine pitcher.
Throwing to a U of L hitter.
Yeah.
And catcher.
It's pretty crazy.
They call him the Fresh Prince. Did you know that?
Will
Smith's nickname is the Fresh Prince.
That. No.
So my brother's a teammate of my brother. Well, not a teammate. He came just after him, but Zach knows him pretty well. So yeah, the Fresh Prince. It's a pretty cool nickname.
Yeah, that is.
But it's been exciting watching the Louisville players excel for the last number of years in the major leagues. But it's nice that Bellarmine gets in on the game.
Yeah,
I have a hard time knowing that he was born in 1998, though. I was a junior in high school when he was born. It makes me feel real old. But I digress.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this. It's kind of a hot topic, both of these. So I'll ask this one first. Do you think strikes and balls should be called with technology?
Absolutely no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I thought you would go there.
But I'm a bit of a purist. I will say that I like the pitch clock.
Which they're not doing in the playoffs.
No.
Which is good.
Which is good because it's important. But Major League season, 162 games. I went to a couple of Reds games this year. They fly, and it's great. Your kids will actually sit through a game. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's not 3 hours and 25 minutes. Pitch clock definitely speeds things up. They plan a lot more music. They're doing right by the game by keeping people interested. But going back to the AI balls and strikes or whatever camera, in the booth or whatever, they could do it. I don't like it. Here's what I like. I like that they evaluate the umpires and they make it public. Did you know this? There are ranks that are published now. So like Angel Hernandez.
I was about to say who is that?
He's the worst.
He's terrible.
He's the absolute worst. He's the one that took the perfect game away.
Yep.
He was first base, completely inexplicable.
Pretty sure he
call.
just threw Bryce Harper out a few weeks
ago. He threw
ago.
Bryce Harper out the other day because he missed a call terribly in the third base box on a miss on a check swing, and Bryce showed him up. That's why he got dumped. The call was inexcusable. He should have got dumped because that's what you do when a guy shows an umpire up. But it was well worth it. If you're a player that understands the game, getting thrown out there is well worth that, making that point.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he's like dead last, or he's 26th in balls and strikes.
The reason they don't get in trouble, they have a union, right?
They do have a union, but I mean, I just think put it out there. Let everybody know how bad it is.
Yeah.
I love, you'll see some of this on social media where there's this like montage of like called balls or called strikes where the umpire misses the call. And equally as impressive, I say, like there are some that I've seen where they're the absolute borderline pitch and they get it right.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive how accurate they can be, but it's also frustrating how inaccurate they can be. And it's just, I think you put those stats out there like anything else. They're part of the game.
Well, and I could be wrong about this, but isn't it just part of the game where you figure out some refs gives more strikes if the ball's a little high or a little inside? They favor one side, and it's
umpires have a zone.
That out.
Umpires have a zone, and that's what makes the game great. Is the hitter and pitcher's adaptation to that zone. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that I really enjoy about the game. Is it's not cookie cutter, and I don't want a red light on the field that calls a strike and a green light that calls a ball when a hitter takes a pitch.
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny I was thinking about the other day. It's like, are there any sports, I don't know why it popped in my head, but are there any sports where refs or officials don't really seem that bad or like they're not bad? And I was thinking hockey maybe. Like you never really hear anything about, but then I Googled it. Okay. I said,
is it bad?
I just tried Googling why are hockey refs good or something, and that's not what came up. It was about how bad the hockey refs are in the playoffs. That was every article. I guess I just don't watch it.
I think we just don't watch them play hockey. But like, you hear the flopping thing in international soccer, you hear it in the NBA, you hear it in Olympic soccer, you hear it in the World Cup, you hear all sorts of complaints about tennis is really bad. Line calls in tennis is really bad. You see the people breaking rackets and going nuts, like John McEnroe back in the day.
Which, like the line calls in tennis, that's one where they do pretty much just use the technology to call. They override or out now.
They override.
But
don't they call it in the moment and then they review?
Yep.
I think pretty much it's all that way. They review the natural call, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, that was a lot of sports, a lot of Louisville talk. We have one more segment for the Jay Pitts Show. We're going to come back and we're going to be doing a snake draft of the best restaurants in Louisville. We're going to post this on socials, but we'll be back in a sec, explain a little more. See you soon. Welcome back to the Jay Pitts Show. This is Talk Radio 1080, Real News, Real Talk. I'm your co-host, Ryan Harris. All right, we're doing something new on the show to end this one. We're going to do a restaurant draft. We're going to do this with different things across Louisville, best events, etc. But this one is best restaurant draft because, well, Louisville has so many good restaurants. So you said you had a few questions about the rules, Jay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we should get out of we've talked very minimally about this, but I think we should get this out first. These are local restaurants.
Correct.
Okay. We have a couple of stipulations. If it is a chain, it has to be very minimal locations.
Sure.
Or it has to have like a flagship in Louisville.
Okay.
Or it has to have founded here.
Sure.
Okay. So like I'll give an example that would pass one of those tests and not the other, let's say Papa John's.
Yeah.
Papa John's was founded here, but there's billions of Papa John's. Nobody's going to say Papa John's. And if you said Papa John's, I think it doesn't pass both. So like that's out.
Okay.
Are you good there?
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to pick Papa John's, but
we can argue our picks too on when we pick them.
See, there we go.
And
there we go.
So let's do rock, paper, scissors, one game to see who goes first.
Okay, is it rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
Yep, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Are we on camera here, Hannah? All right, here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, I won. I realized we probably should have been saying rock, paper, scissors, shoot because it was just silent on it.
Okay, so another question.
So I'll go first, then you get 2 picks.
But then do you get 2? Because I've never done a snake draft with only 2 people.
Me either. Let's say no.
So it's you, then me, then you.
And then we'll just do 1 after that. I'll go 1, then you go 2, and then it's 1 apiece after that.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
If something messes up at the end, we'll figure it out.
I know my 1 and 2. The only ones I know in my head are 1 and 2. And so I know I'm getting one of them.
Okay. So
and
I get to go 1.
And I may get 2. You get to go first.
I was pretty happy about this one. I'm going to have to write these down so we remember.
I think there's a good
post.
chance. I think there's a good chance that I get both of my first ones.
Probably. Because I'm going Jeff Ruby 1.
Oh, man.
1 for 1.
Okay, that was my 1.
You thought you were going to get that?
I thought you would go off the wall. All right, so Jeff Ruby's is number 1. So my question was about Jeff Ruby's because it did not originate in Louisville, and it is a chain. But I was going to be my 1, so I'm totally in favor of that.
Okay.
And there's only like 5 locations, so I think that definitely qualifies. I am going to go with my solid number 2 of Repeal Steakhouse.
All right, that was my number 2.
Was it? We were the same 1 and 2?
I'm going Saturday. It's for my 1-year anniversary.
Okay, all right. Repeal is awesome.
Best espresso martini in Louisville.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I haven't had that.
When I went there the first time, Phil and Mally on the team.
Yeah.
Best people in the world.
Yeah.
They were there. We didn't see them. Sent over a bottle of wine.
Very cool.
They're the best.
Very cool. Awesome folks. Okay, so we have Rubies and Repeal off of the board.
That's a strong 2.
That is strong. Okay, I'm gonna go with my second choice. This is a cult favorite. I can't say it is my favorite. My wife was conferred with and threw this out, and I think it's going to be a very popular
cheating.
pick. No, it's not. No, it was on the list. I just probably wouldn't have put it this high because I have a list. Look at this list. I have a list. I have a whole big list.
All right, me too.
I'm going Blue Dog Bakery.
Oh, that was on my list. I wasn't going to go that early with it, but
I just felt like it's going to come off the board.
Do you get Red Dog with that, or just Blue Dog?
No, you get Red Dog too.
No
Yes, that's why it's such a valuable.
It's
pick.
2 different buildings, and one's breakfast and the other one's lunch and dinner. I wrote it down on my list as 2 different ones.
Bet you don't take Red Dog also though. Bet you don't take it in the top 5.
Maybe later.
If I leave it, I'll leave it for you. How about that?
All right. So I have Jeff Ruby's, you have Repeal, and Blue Dog.
Yeah.
Now here's where I'm. Should I pick the ones that I really like, or the ones I think people on social media will say I win?
Well,
that's where I'm struggling.
I don't know. I think you can have your own strategy. I certainly have mine.
Okay. I'm gonna go. This is a little. Actually, I'll go Porcini's next.
It was not on my list.
Okay.
So you can have it.
Got to throw a little Italian in there.
You can have it. I do not have an Italian restaurant on this.
Okay.
And since I think things are moving pretty quick, where are we at on time, Ryan? All right. So
4.5 minutes.
I think we're moving quick enough that I can say this. My favorite No More. Favorite all-time Italian restaurant in Louisville is No More.
No More.
It does not exist anymore. It was Mercado. Okay, Mercado at Norton Commons. It was an Olay Group restaurant, which they don't typically do Italian, but it was an Italian deli / restaurant. The most authentic Italian, made all their own noodles in house. Like you could see it up front. They're hanging. You could buy them, take them home, and make your own pasta. Could not believe it when that place.
So,
it might have been a COVID kind of.
I have something like my favorite restaurant that's no more in Louisville, Butchertown Grocery.
Butchertown Grocery.
Man, that place was phenomenal. Then their pasta was awesome too.
It was. Everything on that menu was great.
Everything.
Did you go down? Were you downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs. I never went upstairs.
Upstairs was cool, but it had a limited menu. It was really kind of dark and vibey. You know what I mean? So okay.
I wish that place was still open.
All right. So back again. Ryan leads off with Ruby's. I come back with Repeal and Blue Dog. Ryan back to Porcini. So we're looking at my number 3.
Yep.
Okay. My number 3 is going to be this is where it gets tough. There's a couple.
There's so many, and you don't know what people are going to vote for. So we're trying to win. So like I said, we're going to post these. While he's thinking, I'm going to explain this more. We're going to post both our picks anonymously on Instagram story and have people vote who had the best draft. And maybe we'll wager something here. I don't know. We'll figure that part out.
Okay. So we got a couple of ways I can go here.
We were going fast.
Yeah, I know. This is where it gets hard. Okay, because I feel like this is the most crucial pick in the draft because the first two were both pretty obvious for both of us. I think. I know I went high with Blue Dog because I just felt like it was coming off the board if I didn't. All right, I'm gonna go Jack Fries. Jack Fries with number 3. I'm gonna go a Louisville staple. Had to go with Repeal first, which is new age but unbelievable.
So good.
And so Jack Fries, I got to go old world Louisville with Jack Fries.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. Gosh, I have some good ones on here. I'm gonna go with the breakfast con huevos.
Con huevos.
Very, very good.
Did not see that coming. It is good.
That is playing a little bit to the crowd.
I don't know that you are. I think you're going to catch some grief for it. I think you're going to catch some grief for con huevos.
We'll see.
We will see.
The votes will tell.
We will see. It may just be me. I'm a breakfast burrito. I'm a Mexican infused breakfast kind of nut. Salsa on everything breakfast, hot sauce.
Oh
yeah. I love some.
And I'm trying not to just go high end places too.
I have a few. So maybe we'll finish up and talk a little strategy here in a minute. So this is my number 4. I know where 5 is going. So now I'm down to so many that I can't say. But with number 4, I'm going to go Barvetti.
I've still never been there.
Oh, man.
I also did places I've only been. So
okay, well, see, okay, we'll talk more in a moment. I may pull one that I've never been with.
How do you know?
On number 5, it's based on what people say.
That should have been a rule.
So I can't do it?
I think you can't do it.
Okay, all right, I'll buy it because you're getting me out of picking this, even though I want to.
All right, number 4 for me. I'm thinking about going one that I love. There's always a wait. They only do dinner, but I don't know how many people have been there. But I'm gonna do this for myself, and maybe people will hear about it and go. I'm going to Ramen House.
Ramen House.
So
is that Frankfurt Avenue?
It's over in the Highlands,
next
to that old movie theater there.
Okay.
They're only open for dinner. They don't do delivery, and there's a line out the door as soon as they open at 5 every day. You can get there at 4:45, and you're going to be waiting. If you don't get the first set of tables, you're going to be waiting in line. It's phenomenal. Very, very good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I don't think that's going to get me very many votes, and I probably lost it with that one. So.
Well, I don't know. See, okay, so you made it easier for me not being able to pick one that
We're at 9.5 minutes. So.
Okay. I'm not going to go too long. I'm not going to go too long. I'll pull the trigger. So I've gone new age high-end steak. I've done local bakery.
And I still have one more pick too.
I've gone old world Louisville, and I've gone kind of like fusion new food, like hip part of town with Barvetti.
You're so hip, Jay.
No, I'm not. So here's where I was going with this. I thought that the top 5 should probably have a pizza and probably have a barbecue, but I can't do both now.
Were you going to do Pig Beach?
I wasn't going to do Pig Beach. I tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go a little out of the way here and this is, like you said, my personal favorite. I'm not sure how many people have been, but I just think it's an event. Right, this place is an event and it's really cool. So I'm going with Hammerhead's
I had that
barbecue
on my list.
Basement Swan Street Hammerhead.
See, I think that'll get votes.
I think it's one of my favorite places in Louisville. Honestly, I'd take it over some of these others probably.
Had it on my list,
but yeah.
All right, my last pick. I'm gonna go with Red Hog.
Red Hog.
Yep, going with Red Hog. That's my last pick. We don't have much time, so I will say, place I want to try: Pig Beach, Nami, Paseo. I think that's a new one. I'm going to Nami tonight. So
you have been to Naive?
Nope.
Jen is a fan of Naive. I would give it's not a lot of vegetarian options there. I'm not a vegetarian person, so that's not going to be my thing. The one I was going to go, because I've heard nothing but great things, Safier Deli is where I was going to go. Yep. Weston is a huge fan. One of our agents in the office swears by it. I've heard a number of other people since he told me. Others that made my list, I'm going to say Emmy Squared is like a cool bar style place. Biscuit Belly is a good local chain founded here. Pat Steakhouse.
We could have done breakfast, lunch place, dinner place, and we still can.
Taco Luchador. I mean, there's so many. Village Anchor, Anyway, we are out of time, folks. Hope you enjoyed the first ever J Pitt Show Louisville Restaurant Draft. You heard it here first.
Follow us on socials to vote.
Follow us to follow and follow us to vote. We will put these out, probably get some good clips out of that. But that's all the time we got for you this week. So we're going to catch you next time. For Ryan Harris, I am your host, J Pitts, here for the J Pitt Show on Talk Radio 1080.
Peace.